Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video, which is going to be the next episode in my heroes and zeros, my top 5, bottom 1. This episode is going to be all about Dior. Another very popular request in the comment section to do this brand next, so if you want to know what I think are the best products from Dior and one to steer well clear of, then you've come to the right place. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, Dior is one of these brands that for a few years was not really my cup of tea. I feel like when I first got into luxury beauty and makeup, Dior was a brand that sort of took me a while to get into, took me a while to try. Maybe I took a few missteps when I first found Dior as a brand. I tried a few products I didn't really like. Maybe it took me a while to give them another try. I feel like in the last 5 years, Dior has just gone from strength to strength, and now I have a lot of products in my collection from Dior that I love. I've got several of the real holy grail status products, and I'm becoming more and more excited to see when they have new releases. They've released a lot of very exciting products this year, and I'm getting more excited about this brand by the day. They're really climbing the ranks in my sort of, top brands. They're really getting right up there to the top. So today I'm going to share with you my absolute favorite 5 products from Dior, and one that I feel was a waste of everybody's time and money, to be honest. So let's kick off with my favorite foundation from Dior. Without question, it is the Stick Foundation. Years and years ago, I'm showing my age already, Dior had a foundation called the Dior Skin Star, something to do with stars. I forget what. I loved that foundation so much. It was kind of like my Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate, but like a thicker consistency. I loved that foundation. It was discontinued. Disgusting. And since then I've not really loved a Dior foundation. I've tried, I think, every foundation more or less that they have to offer, and they've always been nice, solid, strong, but not a wow for me personally, not a holy grail for me personally. And then this year they came out with 2 that I love. They're Hydra Nude, but more so than that, their Stick Foundation. This is a stunning foundation, and if you know me, you know I don't like sticks, least of all a stick foundation. Don't like them, never have. Goes against everything I believe to be true in my core, in my loins. Okay, I believe a stick foundation goes against the laws of nature. I'm just a liquid girly. I stick to what I know, old dog, new tricks, all of that good stuff. So when I saw they were bringing out a stick foundation, I was like, won't be for me because it's a stick, and foundation should come in a bottle with a pump, okay? That's just the rules. Don't blame me, okay? That's how it should be. As a poem. That was a poem, so have to charge you extra now. But let me tell you, this stick foundation is the exception to my own self-imposed rule that I don't like them, okay? There's nothing worse to me than the idea of wiping a stick on my face. There's probably some worse things, but it's up there, is what I'm saying. I just don't like the process. Also, I have found not everyone, because I didn't mind the Tom Ford stick foundation. That's a nice stick foundation as well. But generally, a stick foundation, you wipe it on for some reason, and then it's a lot of elbow grease, isn't it, to get it blended out. When you're working with a liquid by its very nature wants to absorb, it wants to blend in, so you've really got to do a terrible job to create a liquid foundation that requires a lot of work to blend into the skin, because that's what liquids do. They want to get in there. But a stick, it takes some work. If it's in the midst of winter, that stick's probably quite chilly. So sad, but that's going to take even more work. So that's one thing that I have against sticks. I don't want my arm to ache while I'm applying foundation. I don't want a lot of work to get the coverage that I need and then be like hammering away with a sponge for half an hour. I've probably got to do a bun next, and that's bad enough for my arms as it is. This is, I'd say, unique in the foundation stick world that I have experienced, in that this is as effortless to apply and to build and to blend as a liquid foundation somehow. It's so creamy and it just dissolves into the skin, and it's so flawless and flattering, and it gives you the most beautiful luminous skin-like finish. It wears so well, it's so easy to build. I love the undertones in Dior's foundation shade range. They're one of, I'd say, the better undertones for me with my annoying, quirky undertone problem that I have. Dior has always been pretty decent as far as finding a good match, and I just find it so easy. You know, you can have a couple of shades. I like to take this on holiday with me out now. It used to be the Tom Ford. This is unquestionably better in my opinion, and it's just easy to pack, to store. It's very portable, travel friendly, and I don't mind applying this even though I have to wipe it on my face, because it's so easy and quick, and you can just add a little dot here and there where you want a bit more coverage or where something's peeking through. I love it. The finish is stunning. It's very flattering on lines and texture, and it wears really decently well as well. So that for me is the standout against all odds from Dior's foundation offering. Do you know what? Almost all of the products on the desk in front of me came out in the last 12 months. That's really saying something about how Dior has just skyrocketed up there. Maybe other people wouldn't say the same, but personally, for my feelings about the brand and the products that I've tried, I'd say the last 12 to 18 months, they've gone from being like in the middle of my like brand ranking to, you know, probably it's in my top 4 to 5 brands now, because they've just released so much in that time that has really done it for me. So next up, we're going to talk about their cream, another stick. Who am I? Their cream contour slash bronzer stick. So there is a bronzing shade, and I think there are 3 contour shades. Is that correct? I don't know, probably not. I have 2 shades of this. I think 2 is the bronzy, the warmer tan shade, and then shade 1 light is a more traditional, cooler contour shade. This, I don't know if it's factually correct, but it certainly works and appears to be like the same formula as the foundation. So of course they are a perfect dream combo. The packaging of both of these products as well is stunning. Dior very rarely has a dud when it comes to packaging. It's always gorgeous, beautiful, functional, feels luxurious, feels worth the money. So the stick contour bronzer is no different to the foundation. So creamy, effortless, melts into the skin so beautifully, so quickly. It's so easy to blend, so easy to build. The perfect size and shape that I need to bronze or contour. I can even use this, you know, this being a more traditional contour, the stick might be a little large if you just fully put it here, but you can really use the edge of this, so you can really get down your nose and be much more precise if you'd like to. But the great thing about this as a cream contour is that it isn't super ashy crematorium grey. It's a bit more of a natural neutral shade, which for a layman such as myself is much easier and less scary to work with than something that is really uber cool and terrifying, and if you get it wrong will just absolutely make a mug of us all. Probably has overtaken, has it? It's probably, let's say it's neck and neck with my Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, which has been my favourite for many years. This is definitely, I'd say, as good as that, and with some pros as far as like the packaging, and it doesn't have the stupid sponge. So yeah, pros and cons, those two I'd say are neck and neck. Really beautiful cream contour bronzer product. Next up, let's talk about my more traditionally loved type of products. their powder bronzer. They have two finishes in these bronzers. These are Forever Nude Bronzer, and they have a glowy finish and a matte finish, which again, how many brands give us those kinds of options? Not many. Dior have really cottoned on to the fact that some people like matte bronzers, some people like glowy bronzers, and they've given us both. How generous. So this is, as I said, the glowier finish of the bronzers, as you would expect, knowing me as you do, that I would of course prefer the glowier bronzer. And I have used this bronzer to death. It looks repulsive. Let me show you close up. Do you see what I mean? Oh dear. But it does give you an idea of quite how much I love it, doesn't it? So yeah, she's filthy, she's disgusting, she's haggard, some would say. Not me, the bronzer. This is like my dream bronzer. It's glowy, it's natural, it's effortless, it's very easy to build, takes no work to blend, and it's just like my perfect undertone. It's not orange and uber warm, but it is a bronzer, so it does have some warmth. It just leans probably towards the more neutral side. I love it so much. It's so pretty. I'm now starting to wonder if I do prefer the Farah Hamidi bronzer that I've been using a lot recently, but this was my holy grail for a while. As you can see, I've used the living daylights out of it. The packaging is divine. It may or may not make it to the end of this year still as my holy grail, but it has been for like since it came out. I absolutely love it. It's stunning. The finish is just so like natural, and it's glowy, but there's no shimmer or sparkle. It's very natural and just effortless and light on the skin. Another product that I sort of consider to be special from Dior is their highlighters. They do highlighters very well, and something else they do very well about their highlighters is the shade offering. There's always a lot of colors to choose from that cover, you know, quite a variety of skin tones, but also preferences when it comes to the finish, how much sparkle you like or luminosity you favor, whether you want something with color or something that's going to disappear into your skin tone. They have a lot of options, a lot of choices. Without question, my favorite is this little number. Look at her. This is the pink strobe shade. So this is like a duochrome. I don't know how my camera hates this product because there's just so much like reflection and mirror going on that it's very hard for my camera to show you it properly. Just know it's trying its hardest. This feels so silky. Just to swatch it, it feels like swatching silk. It's just the most stunning colour. Look how smooth and sheeny that is, and how that's like disappearing in that really heavy swatch, disappearing into my skin tone. And see that blended swatch, it's almost, you can't see where it is on my hand. It's just sort of glow but no colour. This is just the perfect shade. So pretty, so interesting. I love all of the presentation from Dior. I've said before how I don't love this silver. It reminds me of like a tin foil, like a turkey or something. But I do appreciate that it feels luxurious and weighty, and it is, you know, it's nice. It's just that the colour I'm not a big fan of. But such a beautiful highlighter. Dior's more luminous highlighters as opposed to their more glittery formulas are also really more mature skin friendly. They're not sort of beaming metallic sitting on top of the skin. They melt beautifully into the skin. They're a bit more luminous as they are shimmery, which I really appreciate, and they just don't add or enhance texture. They're a more polished highlighter, which I really appreciate, while still giving us the bit of glow. Because although we don't want our texture enhanced and we don't want to walk around looking like we did in the 90s with just like a glitter stripe, we still want to be glowy, okay? So I feel like Dior are a brand that are very good at giving us glow, but in a grown-ups way, you know, and with lots of colour options, which I love. And then the final product that I need to talk about in my heroes from Dior, one of my all-time favourites, probably my favourite ever lip formula. It is the Dior Addicts, the shiny lipsticks. I am obsessed with these. I have maybe 30 now. I have to have a notes list in my phone to have all of the shades because I'm in danger of buying one I've already got. That's how many I have. I love them so much. Today I'm wearing Nude Mitzah. And these are just everything I want from a lipstick. They are like sheer to start off with, as in if you do one swipe, you're going to get something like that. But then they're very easily buildable to full opacity. So they are completely tailorable and versatile to how much colour and coverage you want from a lipstick, depending on, you know, whether the colour is super bright and you just want a touch of it, or whether you want to go full kapow, depending on the occasion and where you're going. They've got an option for everyone. I also love that they give us all of these gorgeous cases to pop in and out, and you can buy refills to save a bit of money once you have a case. There's a lot to love about this, but just the sheer number of colours of this lipstick, there are so many. It's such a pretty everyday formula with a gorgeous amount of shine and sheen. They are completely weightless. They feel like you've got nothing on your lips. Your lips will just feel a little more hydrated than if they were naked, but they have no weight to them. They're weightless. They wear really well for this style of lipstick that's, you know, shinier and sheerer. And one of my favorite things about it is just how much choice you have for the shades, because there really are very few shade ranges of lipstick that have as much choice as these do. I wish they'd stop discontinuing my favorite shades though. That's my one complaint. And I'd also say there aren't very many permanent shades that are in the like coral orange peachy family. A lot of those that I have are all discontinued, but they do have an exceptional range of nudes. That is my favorite lip formula from Dior, which is saying something, because they have so many lip formulas and they are all excellent. I'm having to use the fan on my camera because it's getting hot. And now we come to my least favorite product from Dior, and it is their eyeshadow palettes. I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. They just are not impactful enough for me. These are expensive, these little quints. I do like the word quint, so I appreciate that they allow me to say that, because they've created a quint. This is just, they're always so boring to me for the price point. This is just not what I'm expecting. It just seems like so not worth the money. You know, they're expensive for a quint of eyeshadows. That's a lot of money, and they're just always underwhelming for me. They just don't give me anything exciting, anything special. I've really never been excited to see a Dior eyeshadow palette, regardless of the colour story. It never looks exciting to me. It never looks like something I don't have, something I'm desperate to try. And I've sort of tried to force myself to try a lot of eyeshadow palettes from Dior over the years, because I feel like I'm missing out on something. I have FOMO. I feel like I must be wrong, and maybe this is going to be the one that's going to show me what other people see, because I just see blah. I don't think they're worth the money. I think there are so many better, more exciting, more special eyeshadow formulas out there. The Dior eyeshadows just do not do it for me. There's just not enough oomph. They're not exciting enough in any way, and they just don't, for me, they don't tickle my pickle, and they don't make me feel like I spent my money wisely. They just make me feel a bit like dead inside. That's maybe a bit harsh, a little bit extreme, but they just fall flat for me. I don't know who's excited by that. Not me. I really feel like currently their eyeshadows are slightly letting them down. I guess they do have sort of their aesthetic, and they want something a bit more understated and muted, and perhaps that's what they're going to stick to with their eyeshadows. I feel like maybe their backstage line is slightly more impactful when it comes to the shimmers, but not by much. So I would love to see Dior stepping up the impact of their eyeshadows, because we do have, you know, their sort of classic line with the black packaging. Then we've got their backstage line. I feel like maybe we should have, you know, a fun line that's a bit more impactful, that has a bit more of a metallic finish, a bit more shimmer impact, because they give us that with their blushes, with their highlighters, with their lip formulas. You know, we have things that are quieter, more muted, softer, and then we have something a bit more impactful, exciting in those other categories. But with their eyeshadow, I feel like it's just all the same. It's all a bit lackluster, and it's just not what does it for me. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 and bottom 1, my heroes and zeros for Dior. Please, as always, let me know what is your favourite and least favourite product you've ever tried from the Dior brand? I'd love to know in the comments section. And please also let me know what brand you want me to do next. Hourglass, Prada, perhaps MAC, Nars. Let me know what brand you'd like to see next in this series. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.